What is up, YouTube? Welcome to PanFro Games. In today's video, I'm going to be showcasing how to shiny hunt every single Eevee evolution in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet on the Nintendo Switch 2 with the best methods possible. Of course, guys, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe and support the channel by becoming a channel member, and let's dive in. Now, before we dive into the hunts, let's talk about the shiny odds in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. So if you have the shiny charm, you are going to be giving yourself an additional shiny roll, which is going to make it so your odds are going to be 1 out of 1,365, which is pretty awesome. Now, if you are using the shiny charm with level 3 sandwich, which I will always be recommending, then your odds are going to be 1 out of 683. And some of these hunts are going to require an outbreak where we're going to knock out 60 Pokemon. So if you stack those three, your odds are going to be 1 out of 512, which is the best possible odds for regular shiny hunting in Scarlet and Violet. So we're going to be using these methods to make these hunts as easy and as smooth as possible. Now, we're going to start with shiny Eevee, which is one of the hardest shiny hunts to do in Scarlet and Violet. But if you do this, you will be able to get as many shiny Eevees as possible just to evolve your Eevees into all the other Eevee evolutions. So you don't have to do the rest of the video, but it is rather difficult. So I'll say Eevee only spawns in 2 spots in the game. It's going to spawn here in the normal type city, and then it's also going to spawn around here in the bug type city. So these 2 cities are going to have Eevee spawns only on the outskirts of the town. So you can see you actually have 1 Eevee right over here, but it's not going to be a lot of them. It's just simply you get like 1 or 2. It's not something that's going to be a great hunt to do by itself. And the best way to shiny hunt Eevee is going to unfortunately revolve a mass outbreak. And to get a rare outbreak, we're going to have to do this method. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to save our game before we do anything. And now that we have saved our game, we are going to go make a picnic. And we're going to try to get a normal type outbreak boost to get Eevee to spawn. So how to do that is we're going to make a sandwich, and you want to use normal encounter. Normal encounter sandwiches are going to increase the odds of normal type Pokemon outbreak spawning in general. So we can do it with number 34. And if you don't have number 34, you can also do it with number 80. 34 would be slightly easier to do than 80 in terms of like more normal type outbreaks will spawn. But if you want to do 80, it's going to be 1 pickle, 1 ham, 1 mayo, 1 mustard. We're going to go with number 34 here. And these are just pre-made sandwiches that you get throughout the story. But we're going to do 1 rice, 1 jalapeno, 1 tomato, 1 pepper, and 1 mayonnaise. So now that we have the encounter power level 2, we are ready to do this normal type outbreak reset. So you don't have to do an outbreak reset. It's actually rather simple. We're going to go to the home, then system settings. Then we're going to go all the way down, and then we're going to go to date and time, hit OK, and then go back to the game here. And we got new outbreaks. And then we're going to scroll out, and we do not see an Eevee outbreak here. We do not see an Eevee outbreak here. That means we have no Eevee outbreak. And we're just going to keep on doing this until we eventually get an Eevee mass outbreak. Now, this can absolutely take a lot of time, and it's very annoying, but it is going to be the way to do it. And I did not say this was going to be an easy hunt. We did not get an Eevee outbreak, unfortunately. So we're just going to keep on doing it until we eventually get it. So good luck. So after 40 minutes of resetting, I finally got myself an Eevee mass outbreak right over here. And this is actually a really good location for it because we can do the mass outbreak knockout method of knocking out 60. And we can also do a town reset to get as many spawns as possible as quickly as possible too. So this is going to be very ideal if you want to get all of your Eevees done. Get 9 shiny Eevees to get the full living shiny dex for Eevees. Now, I'll say when I was doing the reset, though, I got Umbreon, I got Leafeon, and I got Vaporeon outbreaks spawning in. So if you want to go for those while you're just resetting for an Eevee outbreak, then definitely take a little detour to get those shinies done if you want to. Now, what we're going to do here is because we got the outbreak ready, I am going to save my game, and we're going to try to keep it here as long as we can. And then we're going to knock out 60 Eevees. Now, you want to knock out 60 because this is going to increase your shining odds. And we're just going to do this with the auto battling method. So I got my Gallade out here, and we're just going to knock out 60 Eevees. And once we knock out 60, we're going to start our shiny hunt. Now, I'm ready to make a level 3 sandwich, and we're going to be using 1 slice of cheese and 2 spicy urban mystica for this sandwich. Now, you don't have to use a level 3 sandwich, but it will increase your shiny odds even further, so I'll just make your life a little bit easier. There we have it, Sparkling Tidal Humongo level 3 for normal type Pokemon and ready to begin this shiny hunt. Now, we are doing a reset method with the town here. You can see we're getting our Eevees over here, but we also got some Eevees over here. So we're just going to wait for a couple to spawn in, but because we're doing a town reset method and there's a good amount of them right over there, and I don't see a shiny yet, and you know, you get a lot of spawns in general, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna walk into the town to reset them, walk right out, and then we're just gonna eventually see if we can get a shiny Eevee quickly. I always recommend saving before making the sandwich as well, just in case you don't get the shiny within the 30 minutes. But we're just going to keep on doing this method until we eventually get ourselves a shiny Eevee. Pretty quickly, we got ourselves our shiny Eevee. It took us 7 minutes of resetting the town. But you can see this outbreak is giving us a lot of spawns. It's pretty awesome. And like I said, I would recommend once you've done all this hard work, just get your 9 shiny Eevees so you don't have to do the rest of the work. It looks like we did get a big Eevee here, so that's pretty sweet. Oh my god, is that another shiny Eevee? Double shiny Eevee. We got a double shiny Eevee. Oh my gosh. Double shiny Eevee. That's how crazy this can be, honestly. When you get that level 3 sandwich, you get the shiny charm, you knock out 60. Things like this can happen. So not only did we just get 1 shiny Eevee, we just got a second. I would love for the next one to be a female, but you know, hey, there you go. Now I don't have to go for any others, but all right, let's see what's happening in the shiny Eevee number 2. It is another boy. It's another big boy, though. We do love our big boys around here. There we go. Shiny Eevee number 2. Back to back. Double shiny. Easy peasy. Now, we are going to covering the rest of the Eevee evolutions here, just in case you don't want to go through this whole thing and you just want to get the certain Eevee evolution. Some of them are going to be much easier than others. Some of them will be very similar to this Eevee hunt. So let's dive in and good luck. Now, our next shiny hunt is going to be an isolate shiny hunt for Jolteon. We are not doing a mass outbreak. We're actually just going to be at West Province Area 3, and I'm going to be hunting right here. So if you have a level 3 electric encounter sandwich, which you can use the sandwich on the screen here, which is what I did. We're going to do a picnic reset right over here, and we're going to be only getting Jolteon spawns, which is really awesome. Now, the old method on Switch 1 was actually right over here, and it works great on Switch 1, but on Switch 2, unfortunately, because of the draw distance increase, we are getting a lot of Pommy and other electric types on the water, and we don't want that. So if you do it over here, you do have to spin in a circle, but you are only getting Jolteon spawning in, which is actually pretty nice. And you can reposition yourself a little bit just so you can get a better sight. But you can see we're pretty much only getting Jolteon around us, and the shiny for Jolteon is a neon green color. So it's going to be incredibly noticeable from a distance. So this is going to be overall a really easy shiny hunt to do. So hopefully we get it quickly. There we go. We got ourselves a shiny Jolteon. Honestly, it was very easy hunt to do. It blends into the grass, but it's very easy to spot among the other Jolteons. So there we go, shiny Jolteon. And let's begin our next shiny hunt. Now, unfortunately, Vaporeon and like most of the Eevee evolutions cannot be isolated shiny hunted outside of a mass outbreak. Now, if you want to get a Vaporeon mass outbreak, use the recipe on the screen here for water level encounter 2, and you can reset around North Province Area 3 or anywhere around the lake. And honestly, it has a chance to really spawn anywhere on the map, so I would just recommend looking around the map just in case you get it somewhere else that isn't over here, but I got one on the beach here. Since we're doing the outbreak method, I knocked out 60, and we just made a level 3 water sandwich, which you can see on the screen here. Now, unfortunately, because I don't have a great outbreak in general, I'm not going to get too many Vaporeon spawns. So hopefully you got a spot that's a lot better than mine for the outbreak. But it should be a relatively easy shiny hunt depending on your location. That took about 8 minutes in a pretty horrible spot. But we got ourselves a shiny Vaporeon with a mark. So that is actually pretty awesome in general. That made up for this hunt. So let's go. Shiny Vaporeon is down. And unfortunately, as I mentioned, a lot of these Eevee evolutions are gonna be mass outbreak hunts. Now, Flareon is gonna be another mass outbreak. However, if you decide to do this as a walk around, you sort of can do it, but I wouldn't recommend it. So I have a level 3 fire sandwich up right now, and you can do a level 2 fire sandwich that I have on the screen, and that's the sandwich I would recommend for getting a mass outbreak. But you get a lot of Scovillains, but you also get a couple of Flareons, so if for some reason you really need a Scovillain, you can do this method, but also you get a bonus Flareon. Unfortunately, this got worse. On the Switch 1, you would be getting more Flareons, but because of the draw distance, I feel like you get more Skull Villains now. So unfortunately, you're going to have to do a mass outbreak reset and try to get a Flareon somewhere in this area. This is where I would do the mass outbreak reset, so hopefully we can get it soon. There we go. We got ourselves a shiny Flareon right over here. You can see the difference that it's like a little bit more yellow. It's not like this red body on it, so it definitely does stick out. Very cool shiny overall. And let's move on to our next shiny hunt. Now, our next shiny hunt is gonna be an isolated shiny hunting method for Espeon, which can only work during the daytime. And we're using a level 3 encounter sandwich, you can see on the screen here. But we are just south of the grass location right here. And we are standing right next to this little forest area. So this is the best place to shiny hunt for Espeon. You don't need an outbreak, and it's super easy. We can just do a picnic reset right here. We're gonna get tons of spawns. No other Pokemon will be spawning here, which is awesome. But once again, you have to do this during the daytime, or this will not work, because Espeon is a daytime only Pokemon. The shiny for this is green, so it's gonna be super obvious when you see it. So good luck on this shiny hunt. There we go, shiny Espeon. We got that pretty quick, honestly, 6 minutes. Sticks out like a sore thumb. We got that neon green, and honestly it looks pretty freaking good on the Switch too. So there we go. Look at that gorgeous shiny Espeon, and let's move on to our next shiny hunt. For Umbreon, I'm gonna make sandwich 46 so we can get the outbreak. Unfortunately, there is no isolated way to get it. You're gonna have to find one with a mass outbreak. So we got our mass outbreak, and usually they spawn in the cave right underneath the psychic gym. So we got a decent outbreak right here, so we're going to knock out 60 and get this shiny hunt going. Now, I do want to mention that if it is daytime, the outbreak will not spawn any Umbreon. So it is daytime for me. I've already knocked out my 60. So what you're going to have to do is you're going to have to save your game, reset your game, go to your system settings, and then you're going to go to your system clock, and then you are going to up the time by 33 minutes, and that is going to be exactly where you want to be. And because we did this when the game was turned off, you're still going to have your mass outbreak up, so keep that in mind. So as long as you don't connect to the internet, you should be okay, and you'll still have your mass outbreak here. And if we did it right, it should be nighttime or about to turn nighttime, depending on when you did it. When it hit daytime, you know, it's about 30 minutes per cycle, with 3 minutes in between. So yeah, it's about to be nighttime, so I'm gonna wait a couple of minutes, and then I should be getting my Umbreon spawns back. There we go. We got ourselves our shiny Umbreon. Now you can use the recipe on the screen here for the sparkling level 3 for dark type Pokemon. Honestly, not that too hard of a hunt. Just remember, you have to do this at night, so good luck. So our next shiny hunt is going to be Glaceon. I will recommend using sandwich number 150 to Ultra Sushi Sandwich for the Ice Encounter level 2. When you use that sandwich, you are going to want to hang out anywhere in the ice area. Now, I've already done this sandwich, and I got my Glaceon outbreak here, so we're going to head on over to this outbreak, and hopefully it's a good one, and then we can knock out our 60 and try to get our shiny Glaceon. So I was knocking out Glaceons. I didn't even set up the level 3 sandwich, but we actually got the shiny Glaceon right over here, which is pretty awesome. You can see that it's blue, like a dark blue, instead of the like light blue that the other non-shiny ones are over there. I do think it's noticeable even in the shade, but definitely use this level 3 sandwich here for your shiny Glaceon. And honestly, not as hard as a hunt that you might think. So good luck on this shiny hunt, and let's move on. So our next shiny hunt is going to be for Leafeon, and I recommend sandwich 105. This is going to give you grass encounter level 2. And once again, we are going to need to be in a grassy area because Leafeon is a grass type Pokemon. So you want to be in an area where Leafeon could spawn. So hang out in a grass tile with the level 2 encounter sandwich. I don't have the outbreak yet, but if you, once again, we're going to do an outbreak reset, and we're going to do the whole date and time situation, and hopefully we get our Leafeon outbreak relatively soon. It's, you know, once again, it is a rare-ish outbreak, but hopefully we get it. It can spawn in any grass tile around the map, though, so I would recommend searching all around. Not as easy as Glaceon, because Glaceon can be only in the snow. So good luck, and hopefully you get it soon. So we used a level 3 sandwich. You can see here, we got a great outbreak over in the autumn area over here. And we got ourselves a shiny Leafeon. You can tell it's shiny because it's a little bit darker on the like body part, but also the grass part of it is a little bit darker color than the other non-shiny ones. So you're essentially looking for a darker Leafeon, and that's going to be your shiny. And now we only have one more shiny left to get with Sylveon, so let's get it, and we'll move on to our last shiny hunt. Sylveon, and we want to have a fairy level 2 encounter, and that is going to be sandwich number 82, so you can make this to get that encounter power, and I already have it done here. So you want to reset in the psychic type gym area in this field. You want to just keep on doing your little reset method, and hopefully you'll get the Sylveon outbreak. It can appear in other spots, but I've mostly found them over here. But you can do a quick scan of the map around here, and hopefully you'll be able to get it pretty quickly. And we knocked out our 60. We use our fairy sandwich, and shiny Sylveon is incredibly obvious. It's really hard to fail this hunt. There we go. And we got a female. That's really cool. We got a female of a mark, and that's our last shiny hunt. For those who are wondering, we got the charisma mark on Sylveon. That is a 1 out of 100 mark. So that is why you want to do these sandwiches that have the tidal power on them, because you get a further increase on getting these incredibly rare 1 out of 100 personality marks. So that is an incredible female shiny Sylveon capture. But overall, this was a very... Oh, we got some food ones. We got some uncommon marks, nothing crazy, but this one was definitely crazy. But overall, I will say this. What I would recommend for you to do if you wanted to get all the shiny Eevees, I would recommend just doing the part where you try to get the Eevee outbreak and just catch 9 shiny Eevees. That's personally going to be the easiest thing that you can do, and Eevee is always going to be like a town reset method for 99% of the hunts there, so I would recommend that. Some of these are really easy. I think Sylveon was super easy. Jolteon and Espeon had incredibly easy hunts, and you don't need an outbreak for that. Vaporeon pretty much spawns everywhere, which is really nice. Glaceon spawns in the mountain. I had a good time with that. Leafeon, sort of hard to tell the shiny, but not too bad. Umbreon, I think personally, is the hardest of the shiny hunts, just because you have to be nighttime, and it has to be an outbreak, and it's going to be usually underground in that cave system, which doesn't always have the best spots to do it. Flareon wasn't that horrible either, but its shiny can be a little bit difficult to tell as well. But like I said, I would recommend shiny hunting just for the Eevee, getting as many shiny Eevees as you want, and then evolving them into whatever Eevee evolution you want to do. And that should be how you do it on the Nintendo Switch 2 for shiny hunting all the Eevee evolutions. Of course, guys, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe. I really appreciate it, and I hope you have a good one. Peace out, and I'll catch you guys next time.